ABA therapy, there are a number of really important factors that have to work out in order for a family to be able to enroll their child in therapy with an ABA practice. It's not like McDonald's where you can sort of go to the drive-through, and as long as you have money, cash or a credit card, and can place an order, you're going to get a burger. It's a little different than that. You have to make sure that the family has insurance that you are in network with, unless you're going to do a single case agreement. And you also have to make sure that the child has a diagnosis for autism and the child is going to be in the age range that you service, and that the family lives in proximity to either a center or lives somewhere where your therapist can reach them. And beyond that, they have to decide that they're going to want to choose you to work with you instead of any other practice. And so ABA is a little different, for a physician's office. Most people can just go to a physician, and that's going to be their physician. That's that. Whereas with ABA, there's really a lot of qualification. And so what that means is that for ABA therapy, you don't want to just sort of say, okay, I'm going to do every last possible thing out there with equal attention. You want to figure out where are you most likely to find those parents who they themselves and their child will meet the qualifications necessary for service to occur. And so any discussion of marketing for an ABA therapy practice is going to start really with, first of all, sort of figuring out, well, how do your requirements as a practice relates to the channels out there available for finding clients for you? Sometimes it's really clear cut and obvious that a certain organization should be on Meta or they should be on Google. And sometimes it's a lot less obvious. And you have to sort of, you may even try your different options. But you want to start with that understanding ahead of time and make sure you're looking for the right place to find the parents whose kids will benefit the most from you and who are able to benefit. And then as well, it's important to think about marketing as really a numbers game, because no matter what way you go about marketing your practice, and no matter how easy you make it for a family to qualify, meaning let's say you're in home in a broad geography with every conceivable payer, you take up ages 1.5 to 21, right? You make it as easy as possible. There are still going to be people who reach out to you who aren't really a fit and they want services, but you can't give it to them. So the so you're gonna have to think ahead of time through, well, what numbers do I need? So meaning if I want to get, let's say, 5 cases per month on average, well, how many phone calls do I have to have? What channel do I want those phone calls to come from? Based on that channel and knowing the characteristics of people who respond through that channel, well, how many people do I need to fill out a form or call me or interact with the chatbot or something to get that conversation going? So that is something to plan out ahead of time, based on a clarity about what your practice is, who you're trying to service, and then what different channels would be appropriate based on those factors.
And do you find when you're doing the digital marketing, because this is something that I hear often from BCBA business owners, like, yeah, I tried Facebook, it didn't work, right? And I tried Facebook, it didn't work, and so I maybe threw $100 at it, but I didn't do any A/B testing. Like I didn't have like 3 ads and maybe spend $5 on each ad to see which one was better. Like I did none of that. Like do you just, if you're going after social media, do you recommend not doing it unless you're going to actually check the data and make sure that you know which one is giving you value and which one isn't? Like how do you recommend somebody start that?
Okay, so I want to clarify the terms that I'll use for this, which is for social media. For this context, let's talk about what you're referring to, which is paying for your social media ads. You can go to Facebook or Instagram or any social media platform, and you can start posting stuff for your business and not pay money to do that. And of course, the most common place people do that is Facebook and Instagram. However, since around 2016 or 2017, Facebook, now Meta, decided that they're essentially going to not let small businesses or almost any businesses get a lot of traction unless they pay for it, right? Once you're paying for it, so the convenience option is when you're in your Facebook page, you can go ahead and boost a post, and you get sort of a miniature version of Facebook's advertising tools. Um, okay, so now I personally will always recommend if you're serious with your clients, you go ahead and pay for your ads because otherwise, not much is likely to happen. Now, yes, you absolutely need to be proactive in managing your advertising because it is way too easy to throw money down the drain and not see any return on it. Um, so yeah, absolutely, you want to be very attentive to what you're doing, whether it's social media ads or search ads, or if you're doing SEO, whatever you're doing, definitely be attentive, have a plan, and make sure that you are checking in on things in a proactive manner.
Well, how do you know which platform you should be active on?
Great question. So there are two sort of ways I start to look at it. One is what insurances are you taking, and then what ages are you servicing? Okay. So now these are general rules, and based on your location and specifics of your practice, these may not apply exactly to any particular one organization, but this is what I will say is true for, I would say, 80% of practices. So generally speaking, 80% of the time, if you're a company that is able to accept Medicaid and a decent list of MCOs under your state's Medicaid program, and additionally, maybe you have some commercial plans as well that you take, then typically I will lean towards saying that Meta is the way to go. And that's because while people aren't going to Facebook or Instagram usually to look for services, they're just going there for entertainment or distraction or to message someone. Um, it is still, if you have the right system, it is quite doable and feasible to get people to reach out to you for to contact you about your services. Now, with people on Meta, I always tell clients ahead of time, expect half the people who reach out to you to actually be unreachable. So they fill out a form and you follow up with them and there's no response. It could be they just like clicking things for fun and don't mind even clicking to send their phone number to you. It was a bot. We don't know why. I don't know why it happens, but it happens. So you can sort of just it's double the cost of lead to get your cost for someone who will be on the phone with you. And of those on the phone, there will be plenty of people who don't have a diagnosis yet, or whose child's too old, or they're too far away, or it's actually grandpa, or it's someone who does not recall or has no clue like why you're calling, even though they actually did submit the information to you. Now, all that happens, but because you have the potential for so much volume, it's worth it. And we're able to see incredible results with Facebook and Instagram, or rather Meta collectively, ads for our clients, subject to certain conditions, which we can talk about later, like marketing automation and having the right process on the phone. Um, so usually that brute force, so to speak, of just having lots and lots of people reach out to you all the time will make up for the fact that a lot of leads will just be not very good. Now, if you are only taking commercial insurance, um, that doesn't mean automatically that Meta won't work. And we do see Meta working for some clients who do not take Medicaid. However, Meta does tend to return a lot of Medicaid uh, results to you. And so my default recommendation to companies that cannot take Medicaid is that they take a Google approach.